Yeah, okay, first step, quit your job and get rich somehow else. Then you won't be tired from your work. So, my suggestion, just quit your job and focus on training. Coach Greg and it's Q&A time. Got several questions, going to answer them to the best of my ability. Hope to help you in your training, dieting, everything you need to know. Ronaldo_Lynn asks, for natural lifters, how many days do you recommend that we should train every week and what split? The main difference with PDs versus naturals is they're actually able to lift heavier and harder, but the training frequency is the same. I recommend to most people, if they're not beginners, to train 2 to 3 times a week with approximately 10 to 20 sets per body part. The harder you train, the closer to 10 sets you should do per week, and the easier you train, the closer to 20. If you're not training very hard, as in you look around the room and you see a lot of people training harder than you, you should do more sets, more volume to make up for your lack of intensity. However, if you notice you're the hardest worker in the room, you don't need as many sets. Each set that you do does more to build muscle, and so please don't overtrain. Train closer to 10 sets per week. And so if you're training your entire body twice a week, on any given day, you should train each body part 5 to 10 sets. Moon Shadow has an interesting question. What suggestions do you have for people that are tired from work? When I get off work, I just want to have a meal and sleep. How should I be pumped up to train? Also, I just want to eat high calorie dense foods when I'm exhausted. It makes me feel better. Should I just change my job? Yeah, okay, first step, quit your job and get rich somehow else. Then you won't be tired from your work. So my suggestion, just quit your job and focus on training. Well, listen, that might work if you have some other form of income, but in the real world, you have to work, you have to make a living. Well, you could in fact eat high calorie dense foods if it makes you feel better. For example, you could eat nuts and chips and healthy fats and so on. But if you eat too much of it, you're obviously going to gain weight. Calories in, calories out. But here's my actual real suggestion that I'm going to give to you. Ever heard of a stim-based pre-workout? Yeah, you're tired in the afternoon, you're tucking out, you worked hard all day. Pre-workouts that include caffeine, for example, give you energy. The beta-alanine, you might feel the tingles. You take this, more likely to go to the gym and get a great workout. And so if you're tired, you can actually take a pre-workout. That's literally what it's designed for. Not saying that is the answer for everyone, but that's what I would do. And you want to hear what I would tell you to do. Another option, you could in fact wake up a couple hours earlier, go and train in the morning before work. But it's really up to you. Also, if you have a 9 to 5 job, for example, working Monday to Friday, perhaps don't train as often during the week. Save your workouts for the weekend when you're not working. Saturday and Sunday train. Take Friday and Monday off. You can get in your workouts a different way. You don't have to train every single day of the week. Perhaps train 4 days a week. Get the training done on the weekend and do less training during the week. Perhaps only use pre-work on the days you really need it and just do the best you can to get into the gym. Neo Chen asks, about training tempo, do you prefer 8 to 10 rep max sets with control, hypertrophy, or 5 rep max sets with power and strength? Well, personally, I prefer higher rep sets, even higher than 8 to 10. And technically speaking, you can in fact build muscle with lower rep sets and higher rep sets. All sets can build muscle. What's important is that you train harder than last time. Whatever intensity you're used to in the past, try to slowly start training harder. Lifting really heavy weights without strict control, trying to lift as fast as possible, a lot more likely to get you injured. I'm older. For me, it's more about health and fitness and longevity. If you're a strongman competitor or powerlifting, obviously you're going to have to train with lower reps and get explosive power in your movements. But if what you're looking for is a healthy and aesthetic physique, a lot better to slow down your reps, use moderate weights, use higher repetitions, greater mind-muscle connection. When training, focus on a proper time under tension. Make your sets closer to 40 seconds in duration. Really squeeze and feel the muscle and don't ego lift. Wait for Thursday asks, if I am satisfied with my current physique to maintain my muscle mass, what is the minimum frequency should I train every week? Well, I believe the minimum frequency should remain at twice a week. If you're only training your entire body once a week, it's not optimal. You should be training your entire body twice a week, perhaps even 3 times a week, but just to maintain twice a week, all you need. Personally, I'm training my entire body 3 times a week. I only lift weights 3 times a week. If I just wanted to maintain the muscle that I have, I could reduce that to twice a week. But it's not just how often you're training, it's how hard are you training. And to maintain the muscle that you have, for the most part, you need to train with 1/3 the volume that you used to. So if you used to train 9 hard sets twice a week for chest, you should at a minimum be training 3 hard sets for chest. If you do that, you should be able to maintain close to the muscle that you had. However, it depends how far you are from your genetic limit. The further you are away from your genetic limit, the harder it's going to be to maintain the muscles that you built. Also, if you've used PDs in the past and you take away those PDs, a lot of the gains that you've made are in fact going to disappear rather quickly. If LeBron James played basketball 7 days a week and decided, hey, I'm good enough, I don't need to get any better, and only practices once or twice a week, he's still going to be amazing, but he is going to lose a little bit. Perhaps miss a few more shots, and this applies the same thing in the weight room. LDAKDR, what do you think of CrossFit, esports, and the sport of flying discs, which is trending in China? Well, first of all, I think that CrossFit is very cool to watch, and if that is a way to motivate people to move, to get in the gym, then I'm all for it. Listen, you might make fun of CrossFit, that they do a bunch of silly lifts and so on, but for me, I just want to see people getting off their asses and moving and getting some cardio in. And so if CrossFit motivates you, I am all for it. However, if you're a beginner, please be cautious. Don't do dangerous activities that could in fact cause injury. And are esports a sport? Well, that's a great debate. Is NASCAR racing a sport? Is throwing darts a sport? Curling? Personally, I think it's all sports. I think that esports are sports. However, I don't think they're physically demanding sports that require you to be excessively aerobically fit. They don't need a lot of muscle mass, physical strength, and so on. And so although they're all technically sports, they simply don't all offer the same health benefits. And as far as flying discs, well, I used to love ultimate frisbee, one of my favorite sports, throwing frisbees back and forth, playing on co-ed teams. Also, frisbee golf, amazing. And if you throw a frisbee to the dog and the dog chases it, it's a good time. Perhaps not as active for you, the person throwing the disc, but for the dog, very healthy. And so at least it gets you out there, leaves some mental stress. Playing with animals, having a good time, that's a good way to relieve stress. And so it is going to be beneficial. So for me, any sport with frisbees, if you're out being active, that is a good sport to do. Black Evil Boar, should I cut once a year and then bulk up back and forth? Is this better for building muscle? The simple answer is no, it's not better for building muscle. Every time you cut, you're putting yourself in a calorie deficit. That is going to make it more difficult to build muscle. When you end the cut and bulk up, it's then going to be easier to build muscle. This cancels out. When you then end the cut and bulk back up, it's then going to be easier to build muscle. And so this balances out. It's harder when you're cutting, easier when you're bulking. Hence, it's equal. And so in comparison, if you just stay at a healthy weight the entire time, rather than bulking, cutting, in the end, it's going to be the same. So please do whichever one makes you happy. In the end, there's no added benefit to saying, I'm going to go on a cut and then bulk up to where I am now. However, bulking and cutting can in fact be dangerous. If you cut too far, perhaps you cut to 5% body fat, your testosterone levels are going to crash, have less energy, get hangry, brain fog, lower libido. This can be hard. Don't cut too far, as this can be detrimental to your health. Second question, Black Evil Boar, is it harmful for our body to cut naturally without PDs? No, of course it's not harmful. Imagine every person that goes on a cut has to use PDs, performance enhancing drugs. Oh, I can't go on a cut, I can't lose weight, I can't be healthy unless I use drugs. Horrible. Don't think that. The reason that people believe this to be true is some people dramatically cut calories. They go in such a great calorie deficit, starve themselves, that it can lower your testosterone. If you're cutting to the point where your testosterone levels are being diminished, you're cutting too far. It's not healthy. And so what you're trying to do is to use drugs to counteract an improper diet. And so rather than using drugs to cut too much, don't cut too much in the first place. If you're cutting to the extent that you need to use drugs, the cut is too great. Don't cut to that extent. Liu Suo Wei asks, 3-day split versus bro split, which is better for a 9 to 5 normal day job worker? Well, my personal opinion is that whatever program you like following is the best program for you. If you were to ask me what I think, I prefer a 1, 2, 3, or 4-day split. Not a fan of a bro split at all. But if you prefer the bro split, if that's the way you like to train, and that's going to motivate you more, then that is the better choice. So the best choice is the one that you're going to follow. Same as cardio. What's the best cardio to do? The one that you're going to do, that you like to do, that you'll continue to do. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
God knows it doesn't matter what kind of cardio you do. What matters is that you continuously do it over and over again. If you're going to do it for a month and give up, well, what's the point? If I want to prioritize fat loss, how much cardio and strength training should I do? Well, if you're trying to prioritize fat loss, the more cardio you do, the better. To a point, of course. If you do 10 hours of cardio a day, you're certainly going to lose more body fat than if you do no cardio. But at what cost? You're going to lose a significant amount of muscle. So what my advice is, start with 150 minutes of moderately paced cardio a week. Spread it out the way you want. Try to evenly do that throughout the week. Perhaps 30 minutes, 5 days a week, 25 minutes, 6 days a week. Try to do it continuously. Do it at a moderate pace. Don't need to do HIIT cardio. HIIT cardio is hard, it makes it hard to recover. And so slower cardio at a moderate pace that you can maintain without getting sore, that is the cardio you should do. If you're doing your cardio, you're not sore, have no problem, can recover, you can do more. The more cardio you do, the faster you're going to lose the fat. My advice, don't lose more than 1% of your body weight per week. For each pound of fat you want to lose in a week, you need a daily calorie deficit of 500 calories. And so to lose 1 pound of fat a week, you need to be in a daily calorie deficit of 500. 2 pounds a week, 1,000 calories a day. And so consider, if you're doing all cardio just to burn off those calories, 1,000 calories for many people could be 2 hours of cardio. For me, just over an hour on most days, but I do very hard cardio. And so if you're just starting to get into it, try to lose slower. And so the best advice of all, lose as slow as you can. Try to take your time. Don't rush it. Took you years to put the weight on. It's going to take you a long time to take the weight off. No shortcuts. Don't think you're going to lose all the weight in a month or two. Take your time. Lose the weight slower than last time. 95% of diets fails, and those who lose the weight slower are more likely to keep it off. As far as strength training goes, try to train your whole body twice a week. You could train your entire body on one day and do that twice a week. And so you just need to train with weights twice a week. You can do cardio on the remaining days. Once you lose the fat, you can then add more weights to your sessions. Once you lose the fat that you want, you can then reduce your cardio, increase your training, perhaps train 4 days a week. But what really matters, what's most important, is that you do the cardio and training that you can stick to. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Do what you know you can maintain. It has to be realistic, something that you can commit to for the rest of your life. And do you have to eat something right after your training? Is there anything bad about not? Unless you're training fasted. If you're wake up in the morning and you're skipping breakfast and going to the gym, then yes, you should eat right after. But if you've had a meal before the gym, perhaps 2-3 hours before training, you don't have to rush home and eat. Remember, you have 5 opportunities for muscle protein synthesis to occur. And so if you're eating about every 5 hours, don't worry, that is plenty often enough. You don't have to rush home and have a protein shake. And that's a wrap. Hope you like the questions and answers. Remember, if you want a free training program, that's right, free, have one. Click the link in the description, become a newsletter subscriber, and you get the free training program. It's for people who are busy. It's how I train. All you need to do is be able to commit to 2 to 3 training sessions a week. That's all it takes. Also, harder than last time supplements including beta-alanine and GO2 Max. GO2 Max, amazing. It's a natural alternative to cardarine or GW50156. Excellent to help with your cardiovascular performance, endurance, recovery. Going to allow you to burn more calories and fat because you're burning calories at a higher rate because you're going harder. Think of it. If you can exercise at a harder pace, you're going to burn more calories. And so click the link in the description. You can get those if you want. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. Don't forget to watch the bloops. Also, the Circle Diet book, the cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. And until next time, I'm out.